Welcome to episode 3 of the Personal Foul Podcast, where we are going to get personal and potentially foul. Fellas, how we feeling? What's going on?
Great, glad to be back.
Another day.
Love to
Let's
hear.
do it.
Wish it was better weather.
Yeah, a little better. Oh, dude,
It
it got so
cold.
cold
It
out
got
of
cold
nowhere.
fast.
Took like
Yeah.
2 hours. Went from 70 to 30. I don't know what the hell that was, but it's
With
ridiculous.
90-mile-an-hour winds, like
Yeah.
it's Lacey Complex.
It's ridiculous. But
Freaking
so on this episode of the Personal Foul Podcast, we are going to be talking about NFL free agency. We're going to hit on that a ton. We're going to get into some conversation that we've had in the dorms that we thought was kind of interesting. We're going to hit on some of those small conversations we've had. And then we're going to get to an interview with our guest this week, and I hope you guys enjoy that. It should be a really good one, really interesting, something different than what we've done. And then after that, we will be having 5 questions with Cam. But instead of me hosting it this week, it's going to be Logan. Logan and Cam have a great chemistry that is pretty funny. They work well together, and I'm excited for you guys to see how they communicate with each other. So that one should be fun.
We're like
So,
peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly? Like
Peanut
a
butter and jelly
Goober.
time.
You're like
Goober.
Goober, always together. All right,
peas in
well,
a
let's get right into it. Let's talk NFL free agency. Some moves that we think are going to happen.
Yeah, starting off, I think Panthers edge rusher Brian Burns is actually going to the Dolphins.
Okay.
You saw Jalen Phillips and Melvin Ingram both go down with injury in the regular season, and that Miami defense just completely fell apart. And then, Brian Burns, a great edge rusher. I think he was in double-digit sacks this year. I think he'd really add depth to that edge rusher position that they really need and help, kind of keep that defense going throughout the season.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that Panthers defense that was bad but had a little bit of talent around it just completely split up and went everywhere because how bad they were this year. You got guys like Frankie Louvu who are going to be really big on the market this year. And then obviously Brian Burns who's going to go somewhere and get a bag and help a team quickly. But Logan, the Chiefs are talking to do a lot of stuff in free agency. A lot of moves. People are going to be leaving. People are be coming in. What do you think those moves are going to look like?
I'm thinking they're gonna let Snead go. I mean, they're too big of fans of Chris Jones, and I mean, why not? He's probably he's the best interior defensive lineman in the league right now. Still at a good age, 30. He's probably got another 5 years in him before he starts to decline. But I really hope the rumors of Jay Jettas coming to Arrowhead Stadium happens.
That was one of the conversations I was going to wait to have about some conversation we've been having in the dorm. So we're going to save that. But we will get to Aiden Schmidt here. Schmitty, the Broncos need a quarterback like a fish needs water now that Russ is gone. What's going to be the plan there?
I wouldn't be surprised if they do depart with Russ and try to make a stab at Kirk Cousins. He could be a guy you could look at, kind of like a Peyton Manning deal, have for a few years while you wait to, we lost all those assets in the Russell Wilson trade, losing a lot of picks. And Drew Lock, even just to have him just to throw in the lineup to fill in because next year we're not going to be in the playoffs. We're not going to be in the Super Bowl. It's going to be another down year. But I could see him trying to take a stab at Kirk Cousins. I mean, there's no point. I mean, he played really good ball before he got hurt. I mean, he was playing some of the best ball of his career.
I actually had I have a list of teams I think Kirk Cousins could go to, and I think the Broncos is one of them on my list. I had the Broncos, the Falcons, and the Vikings. So I think all those teams could use a good quarterback. So I think there's a good chance he stays in Minnesota. But if he doesn't, I think there's going to be a little bit of a quarterback carousel there, kind of like there was this year. But one of the takes that I thought was very interesting of our last podcast was with my guy Cameron Carnes. I'm not going to say we laughed in your face when you said it, but we all kind of did. You told us that T. Higgins was going to get franchise tagged and immediately traded. And I thought to myself personally, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard because T. Higgins is a great receiver, young, talented, and fits well on their team now and could really help the Bengals go back to the Super Bowl. Turns out the Bengals might be looking to franchise tag him and immediately trade him. And
Told you.
I want to apologize for maybe the smirk I gave you when you said that. What do you think the move's going to be there? Where do you think T. Higgins is going to land?
So I feel like he's going to play his franchise tag year,
Okay.
and that they're going to trade him if he doesn't perform well.
Okay,
So I'm thinking like
you're
if he
back to
doesn't,
square one of when we were laughing at you, buddy. I can't lie.
Yeah,
He's gonna play the
this
last
is
year on the
out,
contract, then we're shooting him out when he's a free agent again. It's either
Like,
got to
what's-
be.
what
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying is like T. Higgins wasn't like consistent over the years. Like he can have a good game and then another game he's out, he's hurt. Like he can't stay healthy.
Yeah. But what I'm thinking, you keep telling me that he's gonna play the year on the franchise tag, and then they're gonna get rid of him. Once that
Yeah.
franchise tag year's gone, he's gone with it. So either they
Yeah.
gotta they gotta trade him now, or he's gonna be a free agent next year again.
Yeah.
So do you think they're gonna move on now?
No, they're not going to move on.
Okay, so he's playing the franchise tag year. He's staying with
They're
the he's okay, and he's gonna play the year out. Okay, thank you, Cameron. I appreciate that. There we go.
Give me some.
Pounding the potato there. I love it. So one of my favorite players is hitting the free agency market, and it's killing me to just think about where he's gonna go because it's not gonna be Cleveland because we're stuck on Deshaun Watson right now. Baker Mayfield's going to he's the second best quarterback in free agency right now. What do you guys think about that? What are we thinking with Baker Mayfield?
He's staying in Tampa. No
I really
question.
hope he does.
I think he's staying in Tampa as well.
I mean, I think Tampa is stupid if they wouldn't bring him back. I mean, that would be pretty stupid on them to not bring him back.
Having practically a career year in Tampa, kind of reviving himself, kind of knocking off the noise that he had. I'm really hoping he stays in Tampa and they keep a number one receiver. I know Chris Godwin's great and could be a number one receiver other places, but when you got him as a number two and Mike Evans as a one, Mike Evans getting old, that's also scaring me with Tampa. I'm kind of a bandwagon Tampa fan because of Baker, but all right, we'll stay on this topic. Where do you think Mike Evans is going to go?
Well, I talked to Logan about a whole bunch. We kind of have a disagreement about it, but I would really like to see Mike Evans pair it with Mahomes, make a couple more championship run. I mean, he's a guaranteed 1,000-yard receiver, 8 touchdowns a season type of guy. Chiefs desperately need, an outside receiver to pair with Rashee Rice. So I really like him with Chiefs. I can also see him going to Lions. The Lions also need a big outside receiver target to pair with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, whoever gets him is going to get a real good receiver no matter what. Yeah. But I think that Lions and the Chiefs are the two top targets this year.
Yeah, I think the wide receiver conversation is really fun this year because there's 3 guys who have been number one receivers on teams at points in their career. We got Michael Pittman, Mike Evans, and Hollywood Brown, and they're all listed that the Chiefs are a potential landing spot. And obviously we know the Chiefs have a number one receiver right now in Rashee Rice, but is he really a number one receiver compared to Pittman, Evans, and Brown? And it'd kill me to see any of those 3 guys go to the Chiefs because I know they'll become great, and I'm a Chiefs hater. I can't lie about it. I have no shame in saying it. It hurts me to see them win, and I'm really hoping they do nothing in this offseason. But Logan smirking, Nick smirking, and we all know they're going to make a splash in another Super Bowl. So let's move on to the running back conversation. A lot of good running backs. Saquon, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs. What are your guys' thoughts?
I could actually see Saquon going to Pittsburgh. I don't like Najee Harris as a running back. I think he's the worst starting running back in the NFL. I think they'll move on from Najee Harris, make a splash with, Saquon, get him a quarterback, and really try to make a push because they're kind of like in the limbo right now. They have been in the past couple of years, barely making the playoffs with the defense and really having a lackluster offense. And I think, getting someone that's an actual game changer in Saquon would really help them push him over the edge of just kind of being mediocre on offense.
Yeah, I like that take. I'm a Steelers hater too. You guys have listed off back-to-back 2 of my least favorite teams as a Browns fan, Steelers, and as a football fan, the Chiefs. But I had Saquon linked to the Bears. I think they have a ton of money and not the best running back room right now. And they're trying to make something shake as soon as possible. As you can see, they're just trying to get as young as they can and as good as they can. But I think Saquon's a guy, wherever he plays, he's going to make a huge impact. I also saw him linked to the Chiefs, Cam. Not the Chiefs, the Bengals. Um, moving on from Joe Mixon, maybe you don't think so?
I see us moving on from Joe Mixon, but I don't see us picking up Saquon Barkley.
Okay. I don't know. I don't want him in the Browns division whatsoever, so I like how you put that.
But I also see him going to the Ravens.
The Ravens? Yeah, I've read that too. I've read all three of those running backs, kind of similar with the wide receiver thing. All three of the good running backs are listed to the Ravens because that's just going to make them a powerhouse too. So if the Chiefs get a receiver, the Ravens get a running back, the NFL's in some trouble. The AFC is probably going to win the Super Bowl for a long time coming. But what are we thinking defensively? I know Nick mentioned Brian Burns. There's some other good guys that are great players.
I'm going to jump in here.
Go ahead, Shitty.
On defense with Kansas City's situation with their two big guys. I got Houston coming in and snagging whoever the Chiefs don't have. They have $55 million in open cap space.
Yeah.
And, their offense, we saw it this year, is young and good.
Yeah, they're insane on that. Yeah, their offense
and
is
defensively,
ridiculous.
they're good too. But I think, if the Chiefs don't want to pay Chris Jones, you get Chris Jones up front. You got Will Anderson, who's going to be in a sophomore season. That would be just nuts up front. Or, just even putting Snead on that back end to help out the secondary to, allow to give Anderson time to get in the backfield.
That's two lockdown corners back there. And Jerry Snead and Derek Stingley Jr., both man corners. D'Amico Ryans loves to run man coverage. That'd be a real nasty duo.
Well, I think when Texans played the Broncos this year, Stingley on back-to-back drives picked off Russ or whatever, and I was like,
this guy's pretty good.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this guy he could be a baller for a few years.
Yeah, let's ride.
Yeah, let's ride, Schmitty. Let's ride. Something I also read, you mentioned defensive line. I've been reading up a lot on the Lions looking to pair someone with Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive line. I think that makes for something nasty if they make a push at somebody that's great. You got a lot of guys there that you could go with. Maybe not on the edge, but on the defensive line, like you said, Chris Jones, Christian Wilkinson, Brian Burns, like we mentioned. If the Lions pick up one of those guys,
it's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad.
Yeah. But Logan, let's hear some takes from you, man. What's some free agency takes you got? I know you got some wild takes that we disagree with a lot. What do you got?
I'm gonna go top two right now.
Okay.
I think Kirk Cousins. Honestly, this might be a little push, but I think the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly think that.
I don't hate that, honestly. I don't dislike that at all.
You pair him with Devontae Adams. He's basically just getting another Jay Jettas type of thing. But I don't know. I feel like he'll be a decently good fit there. Probably revive the Raider Nation, even though I hate the Raiders. And another one's Kendall Fuller.
Oh, Kendall Fuller's nasty.
I think he's going to the Lions for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make the backfield pretty nasty already. And I'll go ahead and give you a take on Christian Wilkins. I think Patriots, honestly.
Okay. I think the Patriots are going to make some moves, and it's going to be a lot of new faces.
Yeah. I don't know. The Patriots, they always got something up their sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make a splash, and I feel like they'll work their way up slowly, but hopefully not to, 6 championships again.
Okay, we mentioned the Lions a lot defensively. They have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson hitting free agency. I think he's going to go back. They got a great thing built there. He was a great player for him this year.
Wasn't he the one that did the ski mask or whatever?
Yeah.
First couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. But I think they bring him back. We've mentioned the Patriots a lot too, defensively. Do you think Kyle Duggar's coming back?
I'll jump in on that. I think he doesn't come back, but I think he stays in the division. He goes to Buffalo. I think Buffalo the last 2 years and their safeties, Micah Hyde, go Hawks, former Hawkeye, and Jordan Poyer, both had been terrible with injuries. It's either one of them or both of them's out, and their secondary and especially their safeties is usually always pretty beat up. They have a lot of expiring contracts in their safety, and I could see Duggar wanting to go play because when he played with the Patriots, when they were good, he played really good.
Yeah.
But when they were bad, he played bad. And I think if he goes to Buffalo, plays with a good team, a very competitive team right now, he's going to play good ball for him. And last year, especially with the Patriots having a down year, Bills might be able to get him for a little bit cheaper than maybe what they could have, if he would have played good and the Patriots would have had a good year.
Yeah, another take I have with the Bills was one of my big ones that I had written down. Levante David. We saw what they did when they tried to go after an older Von Miller. That obviously didn't work out to plan with what he played 4 games with Buffalo or something. But Levante David was a stud on the Bucs this year. And the Bills need linebacker, defense, DB, pretty much everything you can ask for on that defense. They're still winning, but they just need a little help. And I think a guy like Levante David, a good vet, would be nuts for the Bills. And I think that'd be
pull him up with the Italian Stallion and Matt Milano. I think you're looking at probably the best linebacker duo in the NFL.
Yeah, Levante David just, you always think, all right, this is going to be the year this is going to be the decrease year. This is going to be the decrease year. And then it doesn't happen. And I think that's a really cool part about Levante David. He's just been a stud year in and year out. Another guy I want to talk to you guys about was Jalen Johnson with the Bears. I really think he's going to go back to the Bears. Young stud on the Bears. And Bears have so much money, I just think it's an automatic.
Yeah, they're going to write that man a blank check. Whatever he wants, he's going to get it. And I think that you said that Gardner Johnson could go back to the Lions. I actually see him going to the Bears. They just released Eddie Jackson.
Yeah.
They're looking for somebody to replace, at that safety position. I think C.J. Gardner Johnson could help that young Bears team really transform that defense into a whole nother level.
I think another guy that I had written down linked to the Bears, obviously everybody probably wants him right now, but Kyle Duggar, like we just talked about, I think he's a stud. Seeing him in a Bears uniform would be cool, just knowing how good that Bears defense has been pretty much all my life till recently. Just watching that, well, this year they were good again, but there was a couple down years, but watching them just dominate on the defense side of the ball would be cool. Let's get into some, we just talked a lot about safeties, a lot about linebackers. Let's just talk about what we've been talking about as a group. I know there's a lot of odd conversations. It doesn't have to be about football, but let's keep it to sports in general. But we'll start with a little baseball talk here as we can open our minds and talk about other sports. Nick, the Cubbies signed Bellinger.
That's a big one.
It's huge. I think Bellinger brings a beautiful bat and glove to the Cubs. He plays all over the field for the Cubs, at least he did last year, but he's hitting the hell out of the baseball last year. Kind of brought him back to life. And what are you excited to see out of the Cubs and Bellinger this year?
Well, I think the Bears the Cubs signing that pitcher from Japan. I think, and they lost Marcus Stroman to the Yankees.
Yeah.
So I think they got the pitcher, they got Bellinger back. Dansby Swanson's solid. Seiya Suzuki's a solid bat, and I'm really excited for what they're gonna do. They missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Yeah, that killed me.
That hurt a lot. I'm a new Cubs fan, so I'm really excited for what they do because my Royals are terrible.
As a new Cubs fan, that was just the beginning of the disappointment, buddy. You have no idea what's to come. But Logan and Schmitty, I'll keep it baseball talk. The Cardinals didn't sign a single player under the age of 31 this year. What are we thinking? Your
The St. Louis retirement home, baby.
Hey,
go Redbirds.
Your best free agent you brought in was Brandon Crawford, 38 years old. So
I'm not gonna lie. This is how much I haven't been watching the Cardinals just because of how stupid they have been. I saw that notification come across my phone and I was like, "You signed Brandon Crawford?" And I was like, "Oh wait, he's old as fuck. We don't need him. We don't need him."
38 years old, but
I was like, we don't. Well, and then I forgot we have Mason Wynn. Like, he's a stud. I mean, he's been playing pretty good in spring ball too so far.
Yeah, I mean, spring ball's always fun to watch, because it's just home run after home run, and they're just hitting the hell out of the baseball. But Cam, we'll get you involved here. So, what could we talk about with you, Cam? Oh, you're a Reds fan?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I won't ask you about the Reds. I'm a
Hey,
hater.
what do you think about Pete Rose?
What do you think about Pete Rose, Cammy? Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, his Hall of Fame.
The hell of a better.
He's held better. Hey,
He is.
hey. But Cam, let's talk hoops with you. I know you play a lot of 2K.
Yeah, I do.
A lot of 2K.
Mhm. Let me get a shot.
Yeah, let me get a shot.
Let me get a
But-
shot.
He won't let me get a shot when they're up 18-2. Like, it doesn't matter. You already won.
The stats
You
matter.
gotta throw the game, Logan.
You had an AI play better than you.
No, I didn't.
He had 13 points. You had 2.
I didn't. Okay.
We throw a mad
I have
shame.
5 rebounds, 4 assists.
Team player.
Oh,
Here we go.
Cam, basketball-wise, what do you think's going to happen? I am awful at paying attention to basketball. I'm a Pistons fan. It's an awful life I live. They're garbage. They just got beat by one of our favorite teams in the room when they win, the Orlando Magic. Play the song. Yeah, Orlando Magic, boy. Nothing better than Orlando Magic winning on a Friday night and us hitting the town afterward. But, Cam, what do you think's going to happen NBA-wise? I know we just got past the All-Star break. Any interesting takes you have on that?
I see Jason Tatum getting MVP.
Okay. I like that
Really?
take a lot. I think Jason Tatum's very good.
He's only 19 too. That's what's crazy. He's only 19.
Yeah, still only 19.
I'm a casual NBA watcher, but what do you guys think about the whole like for the MVP voting, like the minimum games and everything you got to play because of the load management and injuries? Like, what do you guys think about that?
I don't mind it. I kind of like it.
I disagree with it. I think, if you have a guy play, let's say Luka Doncic only plays 64 games and the cutoff is 65.
Yeah,
Like-
I get that.
I think there should be a little bit. I don't think there should be like a set. I do agree with setting like a, maybe like a limit of some sorts, but having like a firm set thing, I think it kind of takes away from it a little bit because you can't control injuries.
Yeah, I get
that
that
much.
100%.
But
But, one of my favorite topics that I know Schmidt and Logan know about, I don't know about Cam and Nick, WWE. We had the funniest WWE thing I've ever read in my life happen over the weekend. The Elimination Chamber was stolen by pirates. So,
what does that even mean?
what does that mean, bro?
Oh, man.
What does that mean, Nick?
It's Captain Phillips.
Hey, you need to get locked in on WWE. It's
Why
entertainment.
did they steal it in the first place?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, Cam. That's what I'm
Okay,
trying to
hold
debunk.
on. Who wouldn't want a cage? Just cage fight match right there. It's free.
Yeah, I mean, how much
Could you imagine overseas betting on the Pirates fighting each other in there? Come on.
Break it to the top.
they're in the ring with swords?
Little did you know it was actually Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar trying to steal it.
Oh, they're taking WWE back.
Heck.
They're taking it back.
Hey, how about Logan Paul in that Elimination Chamber match? I thought he sold so well. Dude, that spear from Lashley he took through the pod was nuts. I'm not
When he
going
was
to
getting his face beat into the pot, I was like, damn, he's really.
Dude, I actually saw a clip. He had a black eye after that. I don't
Yeah.
watch WWE, but he legit had a black eye.
Mhm.
I'll give it to him. That's commitment.
I was laughing at Kevin Owens the entire time when he was in the pod, beating on the pod when everybody's walking in, and then I can't remember, somebody was getting smashed into the pod and he was punching it at the same time or whatever, he was just being hurt.
Wasn't he also headbutting the pod?
Yeah, he was just,
Like a maniac?
he's crazy.
I
What
also
about, go ahead. No, go ahead.
hard take about while we're on WWE. I think Drew McIntyre is overrated.
Oh, I'm not a Drew McIntyre guy. I'm
Like,
over
he's
that.
kind of gross looking. Not saying I'm a pleasing, but that dude just on the bound just throws me the wrong way. Just I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
see
not
the hype around him.
No.
The Claymore kick, I think is stupid. Honestly,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I 100% agree. What about WrestleMania, boys? I'm juiced for WrestleMania.
Locked in on that. Okay.
I'm so excited.
I wish we would have been able to get Punk, Rollins, and all that, but I'm still pretty hyped for it. I think it'll be.
I need Cody to finish the story so bad.
Oh, yeah,
I need it.
I think if it doesn't happen, I think I'm gonna go drive down the WWE headquarters myself. I'm just gonna ask them, "What are we doing?" Like, come on.
Then maybe a little crossroads from Schmitty.
No, I'm a Cody Keller. I'm a Cody Keller. I'm just gonna do like Bo Jackson off the wall right into a Cody Cutter.
Logan sending him to sleep, CM Punk style. But we'll close this little segment out with our draft. This is one of my favorite parts of our last episode, so I brought it back. We're gonna do the 1 year wonder draft, fellas. And I'm sorry, I'm taking the first pick because I'm not letting anybody take my favorite player ever in this draft. But so 1 year wonder, obviously one guy who had a standout season and is pretty known for it. So I'll go first, and I'll take with my first pick Peyton Hillis. And we'll go me, Cam, Logan, Nick, Aiden, because that's what you guys look like on my screen.
Okay. So for my quarterback, I'm going RG3.
Oh gosh, that was on my list.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're gonna stick with quarterback, I'm taking Cam Newton.
Okay.
Back to Super Bowl times, the dab, always fighting with people. Yeah, Cam Newton for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the single greatest quarterback playoff run in history in Nicholas Edward Foles.
Oh, the Philly special still pisses
Philly
me off.
special. Beat Tom Brady. Can't beat it.
I'm going to go running back since Cam took my quarterback. I'm going to go Olandis Gary in 1999. Filled in for Terrell Davis when he got hurt. 1,100 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns in 12 games.
All right, Schmidt coming in with the old timer.
Okay.
I'm going to go with quarterback here. I'm going to take one of my favorite quarterbacks, Blake Bortles in 2017 when he took the Jags to the AFC Championship. The boat was balling, man. I'm a Blake Bortles guy, so
Ripping
Blake
cigarettes.
Bortles. Oh yeah, if I wasn't here, I'd probably be ripping cigarettes, working construction. Go ahead, Cammy.
I'm going to go with a Bengal here. Icky Woods.
Oh, can you do the Icky Shuffle for us?
No.
Come on, dude.
I'm
Come on, do it.
doing the Icky Shuffle.
Come on.
Cam, do the Icky Shuffle, man.
I
For
don't
the
know
people.
how to do the Icky Shuffle right.
We'll do it on the 5 questions with Ron after this.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll
five
do
questions,
5
Ron. Okay, one is going to be do the Icky
Schmidt.
Shuffle.
To help you out, you could have just taken Drew's quarterback this year, Joe Flacco. I mean, coming out of retirement,
I got a good one. I got a good one coming up.
Okay. I'll stick with running back as well. 2015, Darren McFadden, turning back time, got 1,000 yards rushing that season. He was also like a dog that season, honestly. If you go back and watch some season highlights of him, he was still making 20-yard runs, running people over, making people miss.
Yeah. Darren McFadden was hoopty that year for sure.
Okay, so for my next pick, I'm taking Todd Gurley, 2017, Offensive Player of the Year.
Ooh.
If he didn't have arthritis in his knee, he still would be playing, but he still had a hell of a season.
Isn't he younger than Derrick Henry too?
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
He's still in his 20s.
That's crazy.
I'm going to stick with the Broncos theme here for my quarterback. 2015 Brock Osweiler. Leading into, filling in for Peyton Manning. Played good in 2015, for that good stretch. Leading into 2016 to the biggest robbery in NFL history when he stole $72 million from the Houston Texans.
Brock Osweiler was nuts that 1 year. But my pick is going to be one of my favorite players from my childhood, 2013 Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon was so good. And then obviously we'll call him some off-field issues. Some off-field issues. He might have enjoyed to relax a little too much. But, Josh Gordon, that's going to be my first wide receiver.
My first wide receiver, I'm going Harry Douglas for the Falcons.
Okay, Harry Douglas. I like it.
I'm actually going to go to tight end before he gets taken. 2020 Gronk, Super Bowl.
Okay. Logan, I'm gonna hit you with a Cam comment here.
No, don't do it.
Yeah, we're not doing tight ends. It wasn't on the list.
I started looking at my
That
sheet.
was in the script. All right.
It's not me.
All right. Wow, got me there. Terrell Pryor for receiver.
All right, Terrell Pryor. That was going to be my next pick, so should have let you just stick with Gronk,
Yeah, should have.
the greatest tight end of all time to have a 1 year wonder.
He came out of retirement, man. Come on
Yeah,
now.
that was nuts. The 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl was sick. Go ahead, Nick.
I'm gonna take 2017 Wes Welker, Kansas legend. Hometown hero. Nothing crazy, but just good, solid, fundamental football. Got you a couple touchdowns, 1,000 yards receiving. Can't ask for much more.
One of those sneaky athletic nose on the grindstone kind of guys.
My favorite.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that. Go ahead, Schmitty.
My first receiver off the board, I'm going to take Sidney Rice, 2009.
Okay.
1,300 yards with Brett Favre slinging the rock to him. Every other year after that, he was dog. But that 1 year, he was goated.
I'm going to take kind of an off pick here that you guys might know about, you guys might not know about. It's a kind of just a one-play wonder for my last receiver. When Greg Jennings broke his leg and had the team on his back. That's going to be my last receiver. That's my favorite video ever.
That's a good
Greg
one.
Jennings, team on his back, broken leg. So that's going to be my last receiver.
Oh my God.
Hit it with us, Cam.
I have San Francisco's Marcus Goodwin.
Okay, yeah. Marcus, dude, he sucked on the Browns when he left San Francisco, but God, he was so good on the 49ers, so fast.
I'm gonna go with Steve Smith when he was on the Giants.
Okay.
Pretty good season for him.
Go ahead, Nick.
I'm going to take Baby Gronk as my next wide receiver. Took the internet by storm in 2019, 2020. Haven't heard from him since, but he had everybody in a chokehold that year.
He had Livy Dunn, dude.
He did have Livy Dunn.
Close
Right,
out,
I'm going to
Schmidt.
take a Giants receiver. I'm going to take David Tyree in that one Super Bowl.
Oh,
with
the
helmet
catch, the helmet catch.
Then every
I
other
like it.
year, didn't have over 200 yards in a season. So, I mean.
Hey, I think that was a great draft. That was fun, fellas.
But that play is replayed every single year
Mhm.
before the Super Bowl. So, I mean, good for him.
Yeah, I heard some names in that I didn't think I was going to hear. Cam hit me with the Harry Douglas. I kind of like that name. Never heard of the fella, but I like the name.
Yeah, I don't know if Cam even knows who that is. If he doesn't know who Herschel Walker is, he doesn't know who Harry Douglas is.
Cam, we need an icky shuffle, man.
No.
Come on.
You don't know Herschel Walker, the Republican candidate down in Georgia or something like that.
Do you know who Ken Griffey Jr. is?
Oh,
Ken
no.
Griffey Jr.? No.
As a Reds fan, you don't even know who Ken Griffey Jr. is? No.
Watch baseball.
You don't know the kid?
Cam, did you watch sports?
Who is the greatest basketball player ever?
Michael
Oh.
Jordan.
Oh God.
Oh,
All right, cut.
You sound
That's
like
a
my
flag.
dad.
That might be a double. That might be a double tech.
take on the play.
Time to go hit the showers, bud.
Oh, that's
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
great to learn Chinese, Cameron. No, so one of the last parts I want to do here before we get into our other segments is just some more random stuff we've been talking about. And there's 2 topics that there's been some arguments about in the room, and we mentioned one of them earlier. This Justin Jefferson shit that you guys have been telling me is so wrong, dude. Like, I just can't stand to hear about it anymore. Can one of you tell me what you were telling me earlier that I just stopped
All right,
listening to?
Is the DraftKings trade reasonable?
The DraftKings trade. I think it's funny that you're getting your knowledge from DraftKings. But
Like, it's all over Twitter. I mean, you see
I
it.
know.
People are betting on it. It's just,
so
it's still.
what was it? What was it? I don't remember what it was.
It was a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and MVS. Do you think that's even considerable?
No.
Exactly.
I just don't get why it's even on the internet. Like, who's building these? Like,
Probably
who in their
you.
right- Me. Yeah, I'm trading MVS for the best receiver in football to the best team.
Hey,
That's
what's your burner
dumb.
account?
My burner account? I don't have one.
No, Cam's.
Oh, Cam's is actually DraftKings. That's his burner account. He's making that trade.
It's Ron.
It's
Carnez
Ron.
Carnez Ron
Carnez
at
Ron.
wmpenn.edu. No, and something else just to close it up, fellas. Justin Fields. I know we've been talking about this a lot. There's been a lot more conversations about him since our last episode. I know we touched on this in our last episode. What's going on with Justin Fields? I've heard Steelers, Patriots, Falcons, back to the Bears. Pretty much every team is linked to Justin Fields at this point. What do you guys think is going to happen?
Who
I
knows?
still have him staying with the Bears. I mean, that's in my heart. That's what I want. Give the kid a fair chance. Get him a real, receiver. Get him some help on the O line.
DJ Moore.
Okay, DJ
Don't
Moore.
tell me DJ Moore is not a number one receiver on half the teams in the NFL.
Okay, name me Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney's gone. He's out. They got Cole Kmet. He's no slouch.
I'm going to jump in on this because I didn't say this earlier when we were talking free agents. Mike Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that maybe. Going to Chicago. Get them a big receiver. You got DJ Moore. Let Fields get another weapon. I mean,
I just don't see the Bears going the older route right now. But I want them to keep Justin Fields. But I saw the Steelers were going to trade. They offered like a second round pick for him, and the Bears told him no. But Justin Fields to the Steelers would be cool. I mean, they've had quarterback trouble. All of them have sucked, other than like Mitch the Glitch, because he's like funny to watch. But that'd be cool.
I think a fun team that Justin could go to is honestly the Falcons. I mean,
Yeah,
Bijan,
that'd be cool.
Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something about it just being young.
Mhm.
I feel like they'll have great chemistry, but I really personally want Justin to stay in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think he's the truth there. He's just going to take a little bit more time. I don't think they should just throw him out immediately, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, it's a business. And the thing with the NFL right now is that, like, it's kind of, like, entertaining to watch with, Chiefs becoming an even bigger super team. These, like, cruddier teams are now, like, on the verge of possibly being good.
Yeah.
And so it's like a flip-flop either way. But, yeah, this offseason has definitely been entertaining a lot. And I can't wait to watch the draft and the combine this week.
I'm really excited. Fellas, that was a great first segment of our episode. We're going to be getting an interview with our special guest. That's going to be Nolan Watkins of Ohio State football. He is a student manager there, so we're going to talk to him about what he does on the day-to-day. It's going to be a good time. And then we're going to close it up with 5 questions with Cam. So hope you guys enjoy us getting personal and potentially foul. We'll be up next with Nolan Watkins. Our second guest here on the Personal Foul Podcast, we got Nolan Watkins, the Ohio State football student manager here. Nolan, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Just recording a podcast. My favorite thing to do as of right now, so it's a good time. So we're just going to ask you some questions, figure out what you do. We've had an athlete on our past video. We got to kind of hear what he does off the field. I kind of want to hear what you do on the field because coming from a football player here, I see what our managers do, and they work pretty hard, and I want to see what you're doing at a huge school like Ohio State, a big program like that. So if you're all right with it, let's get right into it.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's go.
All right. So first off, what made you interested in getting the position you have, and how did you get it?
So my junior year, I was just attending the football games as a student. And then pregame, you see the guys on the field kind of helping out with the pregame activities. I was like, that'd be pretty interesting. And then by the time I reached out, it was already too late, obviously, because the season started. So then I put my name in for application, and we have kind of a tryout process. So that starts in January after like the season's over.
If you don't mind me asking, what's that tryout process look like?
Yeah, so right now we're actually like doing tryouts with the new kids right now. So you basically come in for mat drills, put laundry in, kind of just do our everyday tasks. But it's like we evaluate the personalities and like how well you fit in. It's kind of a vibe thing.
Okay.
And obviously it's nice when you're able to be competent athletically, like on the field, and be able to handle like situations like that. But yeah, it's kind of just evaluating personalities and if you'll fit and if you have that hard like work ethic. that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry for interrupting you on that one. So, like, we talked about how you got the interest. How did you get the position then?
So our chief of staff, his name's Quinn Temple. I just went online, looked up like our directory for the football people, and I just emailed the top three guys, and they're like, "Oh, go ahead and email this guy," and eventually narrowed down to my supervisor. His name's Kevin Nurl, and you just shoot him an email, and then he kept me on a little loop of updates on when manager positions and roles were going to be open, and then right after the bowl loss against Georgia a couple years ago, we get an email and it's like, "Hey, we'd love to have you in," and then that's kind of when that process starts.
Okay.
It starts off very slow, but right now, in mid to late February up until our spring game in April, we're in probably Monday through Friday every week. We get weekends off in the spring, which is nice until the spring game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot in the spring, and then obviously the season is like we're there 8 hours a day in the season. So
Yeah, I'm not on a insane schedule, probably like Ohio State is, but we kind of got that Monday to Friday right now in the spring and stuff. But you kind of broke down a little bit of what you do on the day to day. What's your day to day like in not a brief way?
okay, so it definitely varies spring to fall. So I can walk you through both.
Okay.
In the spring, it's obviously not a whole lot of on-field like practice stuff. It's more we do laundry, we issue gear to players, make sure they have like their helmet pads fitted correctly, cleats. Um, and then we do on-field stuff. It's a little bit less intense. And then in the fall, it's very very heavy workload. It's all the same things, but then throughout the week we have to kind of get the locker room ready for games. And then if we're on the road, we pack up all of our equipment that we're going to need for like pregame or whatever. And we're kind of like little minions that run around, do whatever needs to be done. Like just earlier today, we just got a text saying, "Hey, could someone drive Coach Day's car back to his house?" It's just like little stuff here and there. They just ask us to do stuff and people accept. But yeah, in the season it is very, very heavy workload. So all of us managers have a position group. Quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, O-line, D-line, corners, linebackers, safeties. And obviously every position asks for something different. I am personally the quarterback manager, so my position role is like very unique because I like snap to the quarterbacks at practice. I catch balls for them. Like I stand if they want a 15-yard seam ball, I'm standing 15 yards, catching balls, 10-yard dig, whatever. Like they just put me in these places. You help them through like quarterback maneuverability in the pocket, stuff like that. So it's obviously like very different because obviously like corners aren't doing that, running backs aren't doing that. So, but it is fun to see all of the offensive positions because the quarterbacks work like hand in hand with all of them. Like running backs, we're doing backfield action, receivers are doing routes, tight ends are doing routes, and then O-line we're not really with as much just because they kind of do their own thing with D-line. But yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I see your Instagram, man, when you're on the field and stuff. So I was gonna ask you, going off that. So game days, are you doing the same thing you're doing in practice, snapping balls, catching it, all that stuff with quarterbacks?
Yeah, so pregame I'll snap balls for their like routes period and then their backfield action period, and then same thing. Yeah, I'm catching balls, help them catching balls during warm-ups. Like I'll throw or catch for one of the starters, and then during the game, all the managers kind of have a different role. So each game will have 4 ball boys, and we kind of just rotate through those guys.
Okay.
And then we have some position coaches like to have their guys' plays charted. So like however many plays, like the D-line coach likes to have that done. So they just like tally however many plays each player gets, and then he likes to get an update throughout the game. So I think 2 guys do that. Some guys signal like plays.
Okay.
And then the biggest thing, especially last year, we call them pole assassins, and those are the guys that just hold like the boards up and like make sure the people in the press box like can't steal our signs because
Okay.
some teams have done that in the past. Not to
Yeah, we're
name
not gonna
any,
name
but
any teams.
yeah,
Maybe a rival of you guys, but
yeah.
um. So, what's your favorite part about being a manager with Ohio State?
I would probably just say the connections and the relationships we've built. Like, there's 12 managers, and we're all super interested, and we have obviously a common goal and a common um, just love for the game. Like we're there so much, like 40 hours a week during the season, and then in the off season we're probably here 25 hours. So it's a huge commitment, but like the people around you are there for the same reason. And they just love the game. But I would probably say like realizing that these players are also human beings and they're like college kids. So we're
Yeah.
all managers are students. So we have like we're all college kids and we kind of are similar in so many ways that you don't even realize. Like you you see these guys and they're like put on a pedestal on like social media and stuff, and it's like, oh, these guys are like obviously at Ohio State you guys have guys like Marv or like Travion
Hmm.
Henderson. It's like, but behind closed doors they're like humans and they like talk to us and like have conversations and are like just dudes. So it's cool to see that side of them because obviously when they're on the field they got helmet and pads on, like you don't even know what guys look like, but then
Hmm.
like behind the scenes it's cool to interact with them for sure.
Yeah, that kind of goes hand in hand with one of my questions here. So you just kind of said you're interacting with these guys. Is that just all in facilities? Maybe outside?
Um, yeah, it's a majority of the time inside. Sometimes you'll have classes with the guys and like
Hmm.
you'll interact and acknowledge each other. Sometimes you'll just be walking down like High Street is like our main street on campus. Sometimes you'll see them. Or if you're out like getting dinner or having some drinks, like they'll acknowledge you. They might not know your name, like if they're not familiar with you, but they definitely like notice you, like because we're just
Yeah,
around so much. They'll just give you a nice little head nod. But
yeah.
yeah,
Is there any player then that you would say you have like a good relationship with that you talk to frequently, or is it kind of just like a how's it going, keep it moving kind of thing?
so all the quarterbacks I'm pretty close with just because I'm with them on a daily basis. But outside of quarterback, Chip Trainum, the guy that scored the game-winning touchdown against Notre Dame last year,
Yeah, I'm
um,
familiar.
he was just one of the guys. He would come in the equipment room, like that's where we kind of hang out at when we're not really doing a whole lot. He'd
Hmm.
come in the equipment room and hang out and chat with us 30 minutes to an hour, damn near every day. So he was a guy. Right now, we're still kind of building relationships with the new guys, and like,
Hmm.
they're not as comfortable and familiar with us. So it's right as of right now, it's more position group like Devin Brown. He's a cool dude. Lincoln Keenholz is a cool dude. Will Howard just came in. He seems like a good guy. So it's just gaining that comfortability and like, just uh, it's not like frowned upon, but it's like you're not really supposed to hang out with the players outside of the facility. I know it's like I don't know. It's an
Yeah,
unwritten rule. So if
I
you do,
gotcha.
it's like you're just don't be like posting on social media. Like they just
Mm.
don't want anything that's not supposed to be out get out. So
Yeah, I totally understand that. Just a couple more questions here. I don't want to keep you for too long, but what's a really stressful part about the job that people wouldn't really think about that goes on? Just some little stuff.
I would say the work-life balance slash social life. Um, it's definitely very time consuming, as I've said. Um, it's in the fall, it's noon to 8, and then you get home, it's like bang out some homework, and then you're so exhausted, like you just want to go to bed. And if you're wanting to live that, typical college lifestyle of like going out partying, drinking with friends, it's like that during a season and even in the off season, it's like that's not a regular occurrence. It might be a
Yeah.
once in a couple week type thing. It's like so I wouldn't say that it's stressful. It's just something that I didn't really notice like when I tried out. But you kind of adapt, and we're all used to it, and all the guys that we hang out with are kind of on the same schedule. Um, But yeah, on the field wise stressful, I would probably just say like any like sudden change. It's like
Yeah.
so we have a schedule for practice, and then like we have everything set up exactly how everything needs to go, and then one flip of a switch and it's like, oh, we're off track, and like we're just throwing that out the window. So it's kind of adapting to that when all like the coaches will yell at you, but they're not really mad. It's kind of just like a sense of urgency thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, where's this? Where's this? We're not doing this anymore. So I would probably just say adapting to circumstances that like kind of just change on the fly.
Yeah, I got you. I totally get the work-life balance kind of thing with us, because I guarantee you guys have it similar. You play a night game on a Saturday, that Saturday's completely shot from
Yeah,
9 a.m. till Sunday night, dang near. But
yeah.
game-wise, I'm really interested in the Ohio State games and stuff, and you're right there on the sideline with them. So, is there like a favorite game you have, home and away, atmosphere-wise, that you were like, man, this was cool?
So the home game, our biggest home game last year was Penn State. That was a fun one. Um, it's always a good Big Ten game. We've got the best of them a couple of times in a row now. So I'd say that was obviously last year was my first year. So Penn State was the only really big game that we had at home. And then away, um, Wisconsin was a night game last year, Halloween weekend. That was a pretty cool atmosphere
Okay.
with jump around um, but yeah, hopefully I'm looking forward to going to Oregon. Um, where else do we go? Oregon, Michigan State, Penn State, and Northwestern. And supposedly we're playing Northwestern at Wrigley Field,
Oh,
allegedly.
that'll be sick. That'll
So
be
it'll
sick.
be a fun weekend up there if that is the case. And then, I mean, Penn State is obviously an electric stadium as well. So it honestly, I'm looking forward to all of them because Oregon just got added to Big Ten too. So honestly, all of them are going to be pretty fun.
Yeah. So with scheduling, are you guys traveling to every single game, away games, or how's that
Um,
work?
so it basically goes by your tenure. So like if you're there, there's guys that have been there like this is their third year, so they're gonna get to go to all the games. You kind of work your way up. So last year I got to go to three away games,
Okay.
and the other new guys only got to go to one. I personally worked the summer, so that kind of gave me a leg up on um, the experience aspect of it, just because I had a couple months more and dedicated my time. So I'm probably going to end up working the summer as well this year. So hopefully, I mean, we only have four away games next year, and so I'm going to be a second year with two summers worked. So basically, going to be there as much as I possibly could. So hopefully, the more that you're there, the more games you get. So
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. That seems, dude, it'd be so cool to travel to Oregon or something to catch a game. You know,
yeah,
I I
it
traveled
looks
like
fun.
I traveled to like Olathe, Kansas. Probably never even heard of that for a big game.
Yeah,
We had a big crowd, about 100 people. It was bouncing in there. So,
I bet.
just one more question for you before I let you
Yeah.
go. So Ohio State offers you a spot on the team. What position you playing with?
Uh, See, the question would it's like I would want to play quarterback, but I feel like my skills and capabilities wouldn't allow for that. So if it were a realistic scenario, I would probably say receiver. But like
Okay.
in the ideal world where I could be the star, it'd definitely be quarterback.
You got that big lanky build though. You can go up and get
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I don't know if I'm taking a sack off the edge and coming up from that. So.
Hey man, I really appreciate the conversation. It was great. Anything you want to add?
Uh, Hopefully we got a natty ring next year. That's all. That's all I gotta say.
All right, man. It was awesome talking to you. I appreciate it a lot, man. We'll talk soon.
Yep. See ya.
Go with our next segment, 5 questions with Ron. Ron, as we talked about earlier, the icky shuffle.
Yeah.
Would you like to show us now, or
Yeah, we
you're
can do
afraid?
it.
Okay,
Yeah, come on.
give us a little show.
A little.
Hey, over here, over here. Hey, Cam, you're going the wrong way, bud. You gotta do it in front of the camera.
I can't do it.
Yeah, come on.
Come on. A little bit right there. A little bounce. Bounce.
Oh, all right. Does it come with a spike, like the other football?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. All right, Ron. My first question is, would you rather?
Okay.
Would you rather go back in time and live in that time period, or go into the future and like see what it's like?
Go back in time.
Why is that?
You know, parents all the time, they talk about like all the good times they had back in the day. You know, like no social media and all that. So
The music,
the music was really good.
you know, like no phones back then,
No
so like you
phones.
actually got to witness like live sports events and you
Yeah.
get to tell your friends.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of like that. What's something you've never told your mom about?
So when I was a kid, I did make it to the bathroom once, and when I got into the bathroom, I accidentally did it on the floor.
What did it mean?
Pootered
Pootered.
on the floor.
Like a or the okay. Okay, I like that. Did you blame it on someone? Or
The dog.
like, it would be the dog. You know, I heard a thing about how, you know, you let one slide and blamed it on a dog once. Is that true?
No.
Okay. That's not a part of the 5-question segment, but so you look into like other podcasts to talk about conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Is there like one that you believe in? Like, you know, aliens were here, or the pyramids were built by aliens or something like that?
I believe the pyramids were not built by people.
Okay. Could you like elaborate more into that?
UFOs did it.
UFOs.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Ye-
the society built the pyramids. There's no way that humans could push those big bricks.
yeah, those like, yeah, just
There's no way.
they're tons of pounds, you know.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right. Here's a good one. What celebrity would you love to switch lives with? And I could give you an example if you want. Like, I would personally be like Adam Sandler. I'd love to switch lives with him. I
Go on,
mean,
Kevin James.
Kevin James. Why is that?
Dude, he's in great movies.
Zookeeper?
Stop. It was a good
Here Comes the Boom?
No, like Grown Ups. He was in the Kings of Queens show.
Oh, true. That's a W show. W show.
W show.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to shout out the boys are back here with live audience. They're loving this. Yeah, Paul Blart.
Yeah.
Which one? Which one's your favorite? One or two?
One.
Yeah, second one was kind of funny. It reminded me a lot of you, though.
What?
All right, last question with old Ronnie. What is the strangest nickname you have ever received, and how did you earn it?
Scar.
What?
Scar. I had a nickname in high school, and I was called Scar. My football coach gave it to me because I was bald back then, and I have a scar on the back of my head.
Why do you have a scar?
I had a cyst when I was younger. I had to have it removed.
Do you like remember the pain it gave you?
No.
Okay.
I was like 4 at the
Should
time.
should we bring back Scar instead of Ron?
No.
You like Ron more?
I like Ron more.
Not Cammy Cakes, you know, Dylan Wimmer gave you that.
Cammy Cakes is good.
I like Ron more.
Okay.
But that's it with
Then why
5
ask me?
questions with Ron.